Today we're looking at the new AndaSeat Kaiser 4, which is a premium racing style gaming chair that comes in at $549, though you can often find it on sale for around $499. Now AndaSeat is definitely a premier brand in the gaming chair space, right up there with Secretlab. I have a ton of experience with their chairs, and I actually even find them to be better than Secretlab in a lot of ways. So when they reached out about the new Kaiser 4 model, I was excited to give it a try. In this video, I'll be giving you my full review of the AndaSeat Kaiser 4 after testing it for the past 2 weeks. We'll go over everything I liked about the chair, as well as the things that I didn't, so by the end you'll have a clear idea of whether this chair is going to be the right fit for you. But before we dive in, I just want to mention that this video is sponsored by AndaSeat, but all opinions that you're going to hear are completely my own. They didn't tell me what to say, and I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on the chair, both the good and the bad. And as always, if you're interested in checking this chair out, I will have affiliate links down in the description. Using those links costs you nothing, but really helps support the channel and allow me to keep doing this. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into the review, starting with the design. When it comes to the design, the AndaSeat Kaiser 4 has a louder, more gaming forward aesthetic compared to some of the other premium gaming chairs on the market. It visually resembles a racing style bucket seat and is immediately identifiable as a gaming chair at a glance. You've got an aggressive silhouette with shoulder wings and angular cutouts. It has a chunkier, more padded look, and the entire silhouette reads large and powerful. This chair really leans into that gaming look. It's great for a gaming or streaming room, but it won't look as good in mixed work and gaming environments or corporate settings in my opinion. This is really kind of meant to be your gaming throne. Now personally, I tend to prefer the sleeker, slimmer profile of some of the other racing style gaming chairs on the market since I think they're a bit more versatile, but if you really want to lean into that bold gaming look for your setup, then the AndaSeat does just that. When it comes to materials and build quality, the Kaiser 4 feels really good. It feels exactly like you would expect from a higher end gaming chair, very similar to something like a Secretlab. This definitely feels like a $500 to $600 chair in terms of build quality in my opinion. There's a good amount of metal components and it feels very sturdy overall. The chair uses a one-piece aluminum base, which is a nice premium touch. Now I have the PVC leather version, which I think is really good, but they also offer a linen fabric version. Typically, PVC leather is more durable than PU leather, but tends to feel stiffer and not as soft. But with the AndaSeat Kaiser 4, the PVC leather actually has a really nice soft touch feel to it. But when it comes to choosing between the PVC leather and fabric in terms of performance, leather is typically better with its durability, waterproofing, stain resistance, and ease of cleaning. Now, fabric on the other hand offers a softer, more breathable experience. Both options are good, so it'll ultimately come down to your personal preference. From my experience, the chair feels very solid with no creaking or wobbling. It has a full steel frame with a lot of metal components in the armrest and base, which makes the chair feel very sturdy. The Kaiser 4 also comes in both L and XL sizes. The L size has a 260-pound weight capacity and is recommended for heights from 4'11 up to 6'2, and the XL size has a 395-pound weight capacity and is recommended for heights from 5'11 up to 6'11. Overall, the build quality is excellent and right in line with what you'd expect from a premium gaming chair. But now let's talk about the actual comfort of the chair, starting with the seat, which is probably my favorite seat that I've tested on any gaming chair. The seat on the Kaiser 4 addresses a major complaint that I had with the Secretlab chair. The Secretlab seat was just way too firm, basically rock hard to the point where my butt would go numb after just a few hours of sitting. The Kaiser 4 has a much softer seat compared to the Secretlab Titan Evo. I'd say it's more of a medium soft firmness. It's still pretty supportive, but definitely has a decent amount of give to it. Now keep in mind there's always going to be a bit of a trade-off when it comes to seat firmness. Softer seats will feel more comfortable at first and offer better pressure relief, but generally aren't as supportive long term. On the other hand, firmer seats offer better support, but can often cause pressure buildup and may not feel as comfortable at first. But for a gaming chair like this where you're going to be lounging and playing games pretty often, I tend to prefer a bit of a softer seat. So in my opinion, this is a huge improvement over the Secretlab seat. Now like most higher end racing style gaming chairs, the Kaiser 4 ditches the old school bucket seat design with pronounced side bolsters. Instead, you have a much flatter, wide seat. The Kaiser 4's seat shape is even flatter than the Secretlab with very slightly raised sides to prevent you from sliding around, but it's far from a traditional bucket style seat design. The seat feels very spacious and is great for sitting cross-legged or with one leg tucked under the other. Now you don't get any seat pan depth adjustment, but this is pretty standard. Basically no racing style gaming chairs will have this feature. So it's important that you pick the right size based on your leg length. Like I said, the L size is recommended for people up to 6'2", and the XL version is recommended for people up to 6'11". So just make sure you get the right version based on your height. Another thing to mention is that since the seat is softer, you'll kind of sink into it a bit more, which can make it a bit warmer. Now this is especially going to be true if you get the PVC leather version, since it's going to be less breathable than the fabric version and tends to trap body heat. But overall, this is one of the best racing seats I've used on any racing style gaming chair. When it comes to the backrest, it uses a steel frame which makes it very durable, and it's upholstered with either PVC leather or linen fabric depending on which version you choose. Now here's where the Kaiser 4 really stands out compared to most of the other high-end racing style gaming chairs. It has a dynamic pop-out lumbar support system, and this fixes a major issue I have with most racing style gaming chairs, which is a completely flat backrest design. Now most gaming chairs will either use a lumbar pillow, or on the higher end chairs like Secretlab have a built-in adjustable lumbar support. but from my experience, it's never enough to actually provide good back support. Now, when you compare this to a standard ergonomic office chair, they'll pretty much all have an S-curve design to match the shape of your spine. The pop-out lumbar support on the Kaiser 4 tries to kind of bridge the gap between racing-style gaming chairs and ergonomic office chairs. And overall, I think it does a really good job with a couple of caveats that we'll get into a little bit later. It provides really good support for your lower back when you're sitting in an upright position. You can also adjust the depth of it by pulling the tab on the side, so you can make it more aggressive if you want, but I already find it to be pretty pronounced even when it's retracted all the way in. You also have a knob on each side of the chair that you can use to adjust the height and depth of the lumbar support, so you can really dial it in to hit the perfect sweet spot for you. That said, this lumbar support does kind of push you a little bit forward in the chair. And because of this, I did find that my upper back and shoulders don't really make much contact with the upper part of the backrest while sitting upright, which is definitely something that you need to keep in mind. Now, one complaint I have about this backrest is the side bolsters. I find that they kind of trap you into place and prevent you from being able to shift from side to side since you'll bump into them. That said, this isn't exclusive to the Kaiser 4. This is an issue I have with basically all racing style gaming chairs just because of how they're designed, but it's still worth mentioning. When it comes to the Recline, the Kaiser 4 uses a knee tilt mechanism which allows you to tilt back while maintaining the same back position. The tilt mechanism feels very smooth and is good for rocking back and forth. You can also lock it in a recline position, which is good for lounging since you can stay reclined without needing to engage your core muscles. The tilt tension adjustment knob is located underneath the seat, which is pretty standard for racing style gaming chairs. I would definitely prefer it if it was placed in an area that was easier to access while sitting in the chair. For me, I need to get up out of the chair and flip it over to reach it, which can be inconvenient. Now, the main draw for a racing style gaming chair is going to be the independent backrest recline. By pulling the lever on the side, you can recline the backrest up to 135 degrees. And when you combine that with the tilt mechanism, you're almost completely horizontal. This is great for kind of relaxing and for people who like to take naps in their chair. Now, with the Kaiser 4, I did notice that when you're using the independent backrest recline and laying all the way back, the lumbar support can feel a bit awkward because it hits you in the wrong spot and kind of pushes your back forward. This makes it so that you're almost arching your back. Now, most other gaming chairs will have a completely flat backrest, which actually works better if you're trying to recline almost parallel to the floor. But this is kind of just one of those trade-offs that you're going to need to make with this lumbar support. Personally, I think it's worth it. The pop-out lumbar support just makes sitting upright way more comfortable. And let's be honest, you're probably going to be sitting upright most of the time anyways. I probably only recline all the way back about 5% of the time or less. But that'll ultimately come down to how you decide to use the chair. Now, when it comes to the armrest, the Kaiser 4 has some of the most adjustable armrests I've seen on a gaming chair. You get height adjustment, depth adjustment, 360-degree arm rotation, 180-degree arm pad rotation, and a 20-degree upward tilt. The range of motion on each of these adjustments is really good, and between all of these different adjustment points, you can pretty much position the armrest in any way you can think of. You can also rotate them completely out of the way when you're not using them. The upward tilt is also really useful for properly positioning your arms if you're using a mobile device or a controller. All of the adjustments lock into place with a button, which makes it feel really stable. You don't need to worry about accidentally bumping them out of position, which is a common issue I have with these rotating style armrests. The trade-off though is that they can be a bit clunky to adjust. You have to keep the button held down as you rotate the armrest, and because the pad kind of moves with you while you're gripping it, it can be pretty awkward to dial in the exact position sometimes. One thing to note is that these rotating armrests are only on the new version of the Kaiser 4. But if you prefer more traditional armrest adjustments, then you can opt for the old version of the Kaiser 4 instead, which is essentially the same chair with different armrests. When it comes to the arm pads themselves, they're okay. They have some give to them, but they're definitely not the softest arm pads I've ever felt. They're not bad though, and they definitely get the job done. Overall, the armrests are very good in terms of adjustability, though the adjustment mechanisms can feel a bit clunky at times. Now, like many other high-end gaming chairs, the AndaSeat Kaiser 4 has a magnetic headrest pillow. However, I'm not the biggest fan of the headrest pillow on the Kaiser 4 compared to other brands like Secretlab. I find that it's just a bit too firm compared to Secretlab's pillow. This kind of just makes it feel awkward. Instead of my head just kind of sinking into it, it kind of just pushes my neck forward. It's also a smaller pillow, so you don't get much coverage when you're moving your head around. But while I still prefer Secretlab's pillow, this one still gets the job done. It still functions like you would expect from a magnetic headrest pillow in terms of adjustments. The magnetic attachment makes it really easy to position wherever you want. Now, of course, there's no true depth adjustment since it's just a pillow, but you can easily compensate by moving the backrest forward. The magnets are also really strong, so I didn't have any issues with it falling during normal use. It can fall off if you shift your head around a lot, or if you adjust the pillow to an area where there's no magnet coverage. Overall, it's a functional headrest pillow, but it's definitely not my favorite implementation. So now let's talk about value. You can get the Kaiser 4 for $549 or $499 on sale right now, which is a bit cheaper than Secretlab. And at this price, I think it's a pretty good value. Based on my experience using pretty much all of the high-end racing style gaming chair brands, I can honestly say that the Kaiser 4 is right up there with Secretlab in terms of quality, but at a lower price. The chair also comes with a 3-year warranty that can extend up to 5 years. And yes, it seems like all the major gaming chair brands these days are doing this thing where you get a standard 3-year warranty and and then you can extend it by 2 years if you post about the chair on social media. Now, I've always said this, but I really don't like it when brands make you jump through hoops to get the full warranty. In my opinion, they should always just give you the max warranty up front. That said, it just seems like this is the standard in the gaming chair industry these days. And while it's definitely annoying to have to post on social media to get the extra warranty, it's still probably something that you should do if you're going to be spending this much money on a chair. But overall, I think the Kaiser 4 is a really good value for the money. It offers solid build quality for the price, a ton of adjustability options, and is more comfortable than something like a Secret Lab in my opinion. The dynamic pop-out lumbar support is a real differentiator that actually makes a noticeable difference in comfort when sitting upright. So if you're interested in checking out the AndaSeat Kaiser 4, I'll have a link to it down in the description. And if you have any questions about the Kaiser 4 or want to know how it compares to other gaming chairs, feel free to leave me a comment down below.